Well, welcome back to Strong Opinion Hibs. This is episode 7, and I'm your host for this week, Charlie, and as usual, joined by Calvin. And as this week, we're delighted to be joined by friend of the podcast, Andy Rogers. Andy, thanks for coming on, mate.
No, pleasure, boys, pleasure.
So just before we get started, you'll have seen on our Twitter page over the weekend that we've actually been sponsored by High B Pins. Calvin, how did that come about, mate?
You tagged us in it, mate. The boy put out a message, the guy Jimmy over there, he put a message looking to sponsor a podcast, and obviously we threw a name in the hat, and the guy said that he'd like to give us a shot. He's quite interested in seeing the podcast grow and that, and he just said that he'd send us some pins over, and he's happy to just get to work with us. So we're going to do some competitions and that with him, and get them handed out to the listeners and things like that. So it should be pretty good, mate.
Aye, so we'll have a competition out by Friday, and just send your answers in, and we'll have a winner, and we'll send out a pin. So
it's a Riordan pin this week, mate. So it's a cracker, like.
Yeah, I hope that's got my bloody name on it, because I love him, man.
Aye, well,
it's got to have my name on it.
I hope so, mate. I hope so. So we'll just get started, Andy. So you're relatively new to the YouTube game, like us. So how did that come about, mate? What really drew your interest to start on YouTube?
So last year I got involved in Sam Radio through a couple of my friends, and being a guest continual on there. And one of the guys, Douglas, is already on YouTube, and it got to sort of January, and I was going into lockdown, and I thought, I'm going to start something. I've got my one-on-one interviews with folk, and I've got my Football Bloody Hell podcast with Carl, which you've been on. It just sort of came out of nowhere, and Sam Radio sort of, you've got to be pretty filtered.
Aye.
And I'm quite unfiltered, as you've seen. With some of my views, so just somewhere from it to rant, really. And just get my thoughts out there.
Aye, that's good, mate. I think that's really why we started it as well, just to, because we're missing going to the games. So I think that's why a lot of these podcasts have came up, actually, just a platform to share your views, But no, it's good. I've enjoyed being on your podcast before, so glad to see you on ours now. So Andy, we'll just run through some quick fire questions to get to know you a wee bit better for the listeners that are listening. So Andy, who's your favourite Hibs player of all time?
Frank Sozzi.
That's a good answer, aye.
I'm gutted I never really got to see much of Sozzi.
See,
too young.
I'm 28, so like the first time I started going to Hibs games is the year we got relegated with Duffy and McLeish.
Oh, aye.
So I was just getting younger, and then that second season, with McLeish in the Championship, was my first proper season. Going to the games and that, I was a kid.
Aye.
My dad saying, listen, watch him and Pat Lane, and it was unbelievable.
Aye, I wish I was about to watch that.
Brilliant football.
Oh, amazing football, mate. Wish I could have seen some of it. Who's been your least favourite Hibs player?
Fraser Fivey.
Really?
Really? Wow.
Something I just never, don't get me wrong, he's a cracking player. I just, something about him. I remember he got sent off against Rangers the year we won the Cup, and we got hammered.
Aye.
And we were in the game until he got sent off, and I couldn't take it to him.
Aye.
But I'm not going to argue he's a club legend. I just couldn't take it to him at all.
Aye.
Right, wow.
Well, there's our first strong opinion in the week.
I was going to say, I actually think Five is underrated. Ken, when you think of the team in that, they won the Cup, you forget about him, But, he made that pass that led to the corner,
Aye, let it run.
The shot and it went out,
Aye.
But just...
Fair enough, mate.
One of the players I can't take to.
Aye. No, I think a lot of supporters will share your view on that, mate. I wasn't overly keen on him. I think he was all right, but... Aye. Well, on to the next one, Andy. What's been your best derby memory following Hibs?
Derby memory? It's actually quite recent. It was Simon Murray. You know the 1-0? So I was right at the top of the stand.
Aye.
Right at the top. And I'm jumping about, going nuts. And I nearly went that way down the stand. And boys just had to oh no, hold him, because it was right at the start of the game, and you're just absolutely buzzing. Aye.
That
I
was-
think I just sat
Probably
down.
that one. I think it'd be that one or the 2-2.
Oh, aye.
I mean, the 2-2 is probably my favourite game I've ever been to.
Mm.
But that 1-0 just because I nearly fell everywhere all over the place.
Mhm.
Didn't even have a drink really.
Aye.
So it was like just overexcited.
There's another underrated player, Simon Murray, as well. What's your thoughts on him?
100. I loved him. I
I
personally
thought he's
loved him.
brilliant,
He done
eh?
a lot.
What a song!
Aye.
Oh,
What a song, man! Never hardly even got to sing it.
Aye.
It was good,
It's-
mate. Good. I really liked him.
oh no, I had that. My missus at the time loved him as well.
Aye.
So
Aye.
no, it was just.
What a player.
I kind of. He was unlucky to leave Hibs at the time he did. I thought he would have been kept on.
Aye. Me
He's
too,
a
mate.
workhorse, eh?
Aye. So what's been your most frustrating match, you would say, Andy?
There's a lot in the championship. Given in the championship, just teams sitting 11 men behind the ball.
Aye.
So frustration. But see, any time we played Falkirk during that first season, just any time we played Falkirk, you just knew they were going to come up with something.
Aye.
In fact, no, that season we played them. Did we play them in the Scottish Cup semi?
Aye, we did. Aye, you're right.
Probably that game.
Aye.
So frustrating with all of them.
I think we had about
Just couldn't find the goal.
I think we had 15 shots on target that day, and they had one, and they scored. That's typical Hibs, eh?
Just was at the time, wasn't
Aye. So last quick fire one, Andy. If you could build a statue of someone outside the Hibs ground, who would it be?
it? Oh God, David Gray.
Aye.
David Gray wailing away with his hands.
Aye.
Aye, it's got to be.
100%.
It's got to be, eh?
Says it all, really, eh?
It's gotta
Just
be, aye.
be him or Michael Whelan.
Aye, that's a shout. Aye, good.
100%. Be one of the two.
Aye.
It's got to be Gray with his hand running away, man. That's just such a good photo, eh?
Aye, it's
Got to be.
Just used to were probably at the game. I was on a train coming back up from London.
mate, I was there. My glasses went 6 rows in front of me, so I had to go and chase them quickly. But
Aye.
the
Oh, man.
boy next to me just swung his arm out, and my glasses had like doing front flips around the rows. But what?
Mate, my legs were jelly. I couldn't move, eh? I actually, for the first time in my life, I actually couldn't believe what I was seeing, eh?
Aye.
I was
I was
actually so scared. Mate, I was so scared when they scored, eh? It's
Aye.
probably the most scared I've ever been in my life. I was absolutely petrified, man, in case they lost it, eh? I just couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
I know, mate. It was crazy.
I
Wasn't
remember just collapsing in my seat on the train, just crying my eyes, and my dad just looked at me going,
it?
"Are you all right?" And I'm like, "You didn't even understand, man." My dad's a massive Hibs fan, like, but I just my emotions totally went, and
It was a special day, man. If I could relive any one day, that's a day, 100%.
Aye, for
aye,
sure.
easy.
For
Aye.
sure. Well, there's some good answers there, Andy. And the 5A one's a strong opinion for sure. So we'll get to the usually scheduled programming for the week. So last week we had just about to finish the Scotland games with Nisbet away, and the last one we had was the Faroe Islands, and Jack predicted the right score. So good on you, Jack. But
Right, shout out Jack Gillies. Well done.
Well done, Jack. What did you think of the Scotland Faroe Islands game? Were you happy that Nisbet got on, or a bit frustrated that he only got 10 minutes? Or?
I'd like to have seen a bit more of him, mate. I think it's a bit of a shame taking these young boys away and no really testing them or getting to see, like, has he built up a strong? Well, he hasn't, is the answer. He's not built up a strong enough case for himself to pip the position from Shankland now, anyway. So I think he'll definitely need to be involved in the 2 qualifiers that are coming up against Luxembourg, and I think it's the Netherlands.
Aye.
But again, I think they're 2 tricky games as well, eh? So is he going to play? Is he going to persist with Che Adams? I mean, how much game time is Nisbet going to get if he does go to the Euros? It's looking pretty slim at the moment, eh?
Aye, I would say so. Andy, what were you thinking, mate? Were you happy he got on?
I'm happy he got on, but I wanted to see him for about half an hour. Eh? It was like, see when we got the second and third goal, I thought, right, get Dykes off, get him on, and let's get him scoring.
Aye.
Can prime opportunity against a team like Faroe Islands to get him some goals and stake his place, because Shankland's scoring in the league, eh? So
Aye.
he's probably got more of a right to the place.
he needed at least a half. I thought at least 45
Aye.
minutes to kind of sort of get himself into the game and that. And I think that was, as I said, it's a bit of a shame that he didn't really get a good kick at the ball. But he did have the ball in the back of the net, mind you.
It was offside.
You see that? It was offside or something. I was absolutely delighted for him. But I don't know what else your thoughts on that were. I wouldn't have watched Scotland if they weren't in the team if it wasn't for him and McGinn.
I mean,
no, I'm the same.
I wouldn't be as invested, eh?
No, I'm the same.
No,
like, see if McGinn wasn't in the team, I can't watch him. There's nothing drawing me to the team.
Totally agree.
I don't feel any connection to it, eh? Like it's even like there's a lot of folk in the team, like I don't know, Armstrong and that I'm not that keen on a lot.
Like Armstrong at all.
And I think Che Adams definitely showed that he's good enough. Like, and I think he's everything that we don't have in a striker at the moment. But it just gets me, like I heard that he'd snubbed us before. We tried to get him last qualifiers or something, and he said he didn't want to play for Scotland. Now all of a sudden we've made it to the Euros. It's like he wants to play. Like, I'm not about that, eh?
I think he was like 20-year-old, to be fair.
Was he? Is he that young?
I think he's only 23 or so, 24.
I didn't that.
And I didn't think he was getting in the Birmingham team or something at the time.
No, I think his big thing is that he's playing football, and England have got many strikers that are better than him, eh? So I think he's next best is Scotland. But I mean, I wish he'd taken us up on the offer when it happened. But I mean, good to see Nisbet get on. Hopefully he'll play in the friendlies, but hopefully he goes to the Euros today. But he needs to start scoring to get that.
Didn't do him any harm, getting in that team. You know what I mean? Didn't do him any harm, and it hopefully put a wee bit maybe a price tag on him. Because do you think he'll leave this summer?
I think he's gone.
I think so.
I think his heat's gone.
Aye, could be.
And Kim, see the way he acted in January. I loved him before that, but see the way he acted, I was like, nah, you're a Hibs fan and all that. You're fake to me.
We said the same thing.
I didn't mind a player wanting to leave, but you've been here 5 minutes.
Aye,
that's it. That was the thing for me as well. So, as I say, that the grass isn't always greener, eh? Said that in a podcast a couple of times ago. I think there's too many folk that have jumped ship like that. Like, I look at Cummins.
Aye,
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like Dundee. Come on.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye. And I think he will leave this summer. I don't think we'll get as much as we were offered in January for him, but I think
hang on, Ron Gordon's came out and said like pretty recently that players like him and Porteous, they'll be gone for premium price, and if you didn't pay it, they'll no go on.
Oh, aye.
I think he said today.
I seen him saying folk will leave on our terms.
Aye, which is, I suppose, we're not going to be held to ransom by players like we have done before.
Aye.
I think it's pretty important we do that.
Oh, for sure. And I think you look at it when we had like McGinn and that, I don't think we would have got that much money for McGinn if Gordon was there. I think we would have got a lot more. But I think we'll lose. I think we'll lose him this summer.
No, I agree. Be hard to replace him.
I don't think it will be. I think we can.
Really?
No, I think since January he's not done much. And Dodge has been getting dog's abuse because he's not been scoring.
Aye.
And he's not been assisting Nisbet the way he was before.
Aye. Aye.
If he leaves, sorry, Charlie. I was just going to say, if he leaves, do you think they'll play Boyle more as a striker next season, or do you think they will try and bring in a striker?
I think they've got to bring a striker in, don't they?
They need. I think we still need.
Is there a reason why we couldn't? Sorry, mate. Sorry, you go.
I still think we needed a striker last summer, even though we brought Nisbet in, because I didn't. Gullen, for whatever reason, he doesn't look ready yet.
No.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Aye.
I don't think there's the gulf between guys like Gillen and Ollie Shaw is that far off there. So if Ollie Shaw couldn't make it, I don't see anything in Gillen that Shaw didn't have. So it's quite hard to justify why you would go with him. Rather, I mean, if you look at Ollie Shaw's pedigree as well, I mean, it's all you heard about scoring for the youth academy and that all the time. The reserves or whatever it was he was playing for, Ken, he was an absolute goal machine. So it's quite surprising to see that that didn't work.
Aye.
But we said a few podcasts ago as well, like kind of he should have been in the gym bulking up and mastering his craft and that, and like putting himself in prime position to get that striker role at Hibs, but he didn't really, and he's no young guy anymore, Ollie Shaw. Do you know what I mean? Like he must be 24, 25. Like he should have already made a dent in the team.
Yeah.
So it's a frustrating one. I was just going to say to you there while I was trying to jump in. Do you think is there any reason why we couldn't take someone like Shankland off of Dundee United?
I think we could.
I think we should.
We're a far bigger club.
It's probably the next stepping stone for him, because I think the interest down south in that for him probably died out.
I would say so, because he's not scoring goals, and he's not scoring enough to justify playing down south. But I mean, there was rumours that if Nisbet had went, we were going to sign Shankland, so that might be.
I've seen that. Aye.
I mean, Dundee United would bite your hand off for £1 million, eh? Like they're not going to get much more than that from him, I would say. Now, anyway, I think maybe a few years back.
I think the problem with him is he's always held out for that move to Rangers.
Aye.
Been a big Rangers fan.
Is he? Aye.
He's a big Rangers fan, seemingly.
I'm not wanting him.
One reason I like
Nah, just joking.
Our glorified number 10s. Our glorified favourite number 10s are on.
Aye.
Boiler?
No, Scott Allen. Scott Allen's a massive Rangers
fan.
fan.
I've seen that, but that was a strange saga, that, when he went to Celtic. That was strange, man. Dead strange. Aye. But we actually said last week on the podcast that there's no reason why Scott Allen, I don't think Callum McGregor's a better player than Scott Allen. Ryan Christie. When Scott Allen left Hibs to go there, Scott Allen was like probably one of the best players I'd seen at Easter Road. Just passing in that, it's amazing.
That first term, that first spell was
unbelievable.
Aye.
Unbelievable.
Very, very.
The way he destroyed Rangers at Easter Road in that 4-0 single-handedly was just beautiful, beautiful football.
Aye.
Agreed, aye.
Well, we'll move on to the game on Monday night, and Hearts fans, if you're listening, that's how you beat Queen of the South. Moving on for that.
Exactly.
What did you
see their tweet?
Oh, amazing, Amazing.
Did you see the tweet? I got deleted, but I think there's a lot of screenshot of it. That was class. I laughed at that, man.
It's just that's how you do it. That's how you beat a team that are worse than you, like Brora Rangers. They're a massive team apparently, but
exactly.
Anyway.
Anyone who didn't hear the tweet, Charlie, I'll just read it for them. It's Queen of the South's official Twitter page. They wrote full time. We couldn't beat Hibs, but at least we beat Hearts last week. 5 cup finals left for the South now as we push for promotion playoffs. But I had a wee dig at Hearts there, so
well,
that was good.
They deserve it after beating them. Aye,
I mean, fair play to them.
What did you think of the game, Calvin, Andy?
Slow start.
Very slow.
Seemed like a slow start. We've sort of done that all season, mate. But then second half, it was like a different team, So I don't know what Jack said at half time, but different team. You know, the passing, the movement, the tempo, as everyone's been putting it online. It was absolutely good, class, mate. I couldn't believe it. It was like watching a game of FIFA, man. That pass for it's like the highlight, Ken. That pass from God, what's the boy called?
No.
Promise I'm a Hibs fan. I know. when he that was basically just plays triangle for that through ball through to Deutsch. That was I couldn't believe how much the defence was just backing off him.
Aye.
Just backing off, and gain massive confidence boost. I'm glad that we're into the next round, because it would have just been, typical Hibs to laugh at Hearts all week and then get beat ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Aye. So I'm glad we beat them, mate, and we got through the round. I thought they looked good. And to be honest with you, I can't mind the last time Hibs won on national telly. Every time I watch them on the telly, man, they get beat.
That's a good question, mate. I have no idea.
No, not Dundee United. It was last season in Scottish.
Inverness.
When McNulty came back. No.
Was it no?
Before that.
Inverness BSC Glasgow.
That's it, BSC Glasgow.
Aye.
But
there you go.
Totally professional performance on Monday night.
Brilliant, mate.
Like you're saying, it was a slow start, but I think that's maybe to do with it. I hate using the AstroTurf pitch as the excuse, But I think just getting used to it didn't look like a normal Astro surface. It was a bit sketchy, but the ball was bouncing either way. And I think once we knew how to play on the pitch, I think we were grand. And could have been 1-0 down though. Stephen Dobby ballooned one over the bar pretty early on, and that would have been an interesting game. But
it was a good heavy Dobby.
He missed it on purpose apparently. But no, I think to get Doidge scoring a double, and the second one, pick of the bunch for me. I wouldn't say it was the best goal of the game because I think their goal was a cracker, but usually Doidge misses the one-on-ones, so delighted to see him get through and easy street to Hampden now, hopefully. Andy, what were you thinking about it, mate? What did you think of the game?
Well, I thought the first half was just weathered the storm for them because obviously they were heavy up for it. They've been playing brilliantly in the championship and that, and I think it was a case of, right, we're going to take this batter in and then we'll hit them. Yeah. I thought it was just one of the games you needed to take up, see through what we needed to see through, and we got the goal. I mean, that first goal, how many handballs were claimed for?
Oh, loads.
I think Nisbet actually did handle it though, and then claimed for a handball. But the second and third goals were just class. Nisbet's assist for Boyle was lovely, and that wee boy Maxwell looks like a player.
Aye, he does, you're right.
He looks a hell of a player.
My big thing about their goal, though, I think Paul Hanlon was probably caught a wee bit too flat-footed, eh?
I don't even talk about Paul Hanlon.
That's Calvin, you're on mute if you're wanting to talk.
Yeah, what I've been nursing a cold, right? And a couple of weeks ago, Charlie, I think it was like episode 2 or something. I couldn't stop coughing, eh? So I've realised I can put myself on mute now when I'm coughing. So I was going to say, was Hanlon no book?
I think Hanlon was booked, but I mean, I just get frustrated. You're on mute again, Calv, mate.
It's this touchscreen computer.
Well,
it's aye. No, I think it's I think he was booked or something, so I don't know if he was sort of in no man's land whether to commit or no, eh?
That's fine, but he's an experienced player, man. Like,
aye.
Don't get me wrong, he's done us a great service. I just didn't see him as a captain or anything. I've seen you talk about it, and I'm just like,
And that's
I think aye, you're right, mate.
And that's really where that's where it comes back to. Like he's an experienced player now. He knows the ins and outs of the game. He's played Queen of the South a few times. Like he knows what they can bring, but it's just. And then he gave away that stupid foul straight after, with the high boot. Like, come on, Paul. Like I'm just. I think I'm done talking about him.
I'm sure that see the high ball. That's when he got his card.
That's right.
That's when he got his card because that was so daft. And you can't give players like Rhys McCabe a chance to shoot a goal.
No.
He's a class player. Shouldn't be playing for Queen of the South.
No, you're right. But professional enough into the next round. And who have we got next round?
I was going to say, Charlie, let's not gloss over the fact that you were cheating on us on Monday night as well. Cheating on the podcast.
How? What do you mean, mate?
I'm just joking, mate. You had an appearance on Long Bangers, so we'll just give you a shout out there as well if you want to see Charlie's analysis. That was good, mate.
I was on there, and nice to be on that. And you were on it a few weeks ago, Calvin, weren't you?
A few weeks ago. They're good guys over there, eh? So it's good to sort of get involved in the community and that, eh? But just if you have not seen it yet, head over and just check that out and check out what Charlie had to say in that. It's good.
Aye, well, Calvin, over to you for the next couple of wee bits.
Aye, mate. So we've looked at obviously Queen of South game. The next game, first of the split, we're up to Rangers. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the game, boys?
Bring them on.
Aye.
Honestly, bring them on. They look so bad now since they won the league, and I think we're in a great position to go there and take something off them.
I think the only thing is they'll be trying to preserve that invincible season they've got going with no losses in the league. However, one of the most frustrating things I've heard the last couple of weeks, and I absolutely despise this comment, as you know, I watch Open Goal, and the guys on that are saying that, the only team that can beat Rangers this season is Celtic. It's the only team that can beat them. I don't believe that. I think out of the rest of them, I think Hibs are probably the team that can give them a game.
I would say so.
We've done it time and time again. I mean, they never really get an easy game coming up against Hibs, and there's a lot of animosity in that between the fan, obviously there's not going to be any fans, but between the fans and even the players and that, there's a real hatred between. I sort of feel anyway over the last couple of years since we were doing that championship with Rangers. There's a point where I hated Rangers more than Hearts.
I still do. I still do.
Just
as well.
strongly despise them, eh? Just a horrible team, man.
This might be a strong opinion. I hate the Old Firm more than I hate the Jambos, eh?
Nah, do you know what? You can almost sort
Glasgow Mafia.
You can almost sort of understand Ken Hearts fans, basically just like us. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, no, is fortunate, but Ken, you can understand being from Edinburgh, supporting an Edinburgh team and that. But I absolutely hate. I went to school with mates and that, and I've told this story a few times. Like, you go to school with folk and that, and you'd be wearing a Hibs top in PE, and folk would laugh at you. So, Hibs are rubbish, Hibs are rubbish. And it's like, I know, but it's a local team, eh? Like, that's my team. And it's like they're like born and raised in like Edinburgh, suburbs of Edinburgh, and it's like, the big Celtic fans or big Rangers fans, and it's just like, I don't get it. Eh? I'm just glad that it's not me.
Like,
can't stand it.
I live in Livingston, right? It's literally just congealed with everything. And see, when I went to school, there was me and one other lad in the whole of the school that supported Hibs, and I was like, this is weird. Because I went to school, like, when I moved through, before I moved through, I went to Bronxfield Primary, so it was like more Hibs and Hearts and that. So it's just so weird. It's so weird. I hate seeing, like, I was going to Cooney the South away. I was getting on the 4-hand bus, and I seen a Celtic bus in Leith Walk, and I was like, what? That's like, so weird. I literally what? Like, I think they're leaving just for one of the other pubs in Leith Walk, and I was like, this just feels wrong.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
It's weird, man. It is. It's just weird, eh? But with the game, like, I think we'll agree that, I think Hibs are a team that could definitely take the game to them and beat them. What's your thoughts on some of their players then that you think might, hurt us? Obviously, they've got Ryan Jack and Morelos and things like that, and Defoe's been in and around the picture recently as well for them. What do you think it's going to take for us to sort of finally beat them this season? Because we've had a couple of close encounters so far.
I think if we can keep Tavernier quiet, we are all right.
He's injured.
Is he still out?
Still out.
3-0 Hibs then, eh?
That Parsons a good player.
He's banned.
He's faked an injury, that boy, Tavernier. He thinks Stoke still plays for Hibs, eh? So he's thought, nah.
I still have nightmares, eh?
I think if we can keep I think the midfield is important on Sunday, because they've got a very good midfield. Let's not take anything away from them. And I think be interested to see how Jackson Irvine plays, because I think he's not really had a big game. Maybe apart from, did he play against them at Easter Road? Was he here when we played them? When Morelos?
No, I didn't think so, mate.
I didn't think he was, but like just him.
That was the 1-0 game.
Aye, him and Newell and Gogic as well. I think Gogic will play.
I think we need them.
I think we
need to go toe-to-toe with them.
We just need to stand up to them, because we're third in the league for a reason. So we need to show that we are the best of the rest, And I think stand up to them, and let's get an early goal. Let's go and just go. Again, there's no point waiting for them to come on to us. Let's go for it.
I agree, mate. It's away from home as well, which is going to be a tricky one as well, being away from home. But I think we'll set up a wee bit more defensively then. Because I think probably if we could take a point for that game, it would obviously be decent. But Rangers at home, But Rangers at home, I think the wingers will be important for us, like Boyle, Cadden. Attacking them for the wings, I think that will be important. Try to pin them back a wee bit. As you said, I think they'll probably start with Gogic and Newell. Because Irvin's got to play as well. It's quite hard, but I think it's the type of game like where you need that hard man in the middle, but you also need a playmaker. And it really depends on your game plan. Because if you're going to go for it and try and beat them, then you've got to play Irvin and Newell in the middle.
Aye. Or
if you're going to try and break it up and have a bit more of a sparring match and to and fro, you're probably going to have to start Gogic in the middle. So it's going to be interesting, but I would definitely go Doidge and Nisbet up front. I'd go 2 strikers. I certainly wouldn't go there to try and defend it. They can get a draw of that. I'd like to. Obviously, it would be a good point, but I would like Hibs to go there and try and win it. And I'd rather see us lose 3-0 trying to win than lose 1-0 and be boring.
I think this is a game for Darren McGregor as well. I think I'd play McGregor, Hanlon, and Porteous in the back. I'd give Paul McGinn a rest because he's looking tired.
Right.
Just go for it, eh? Porteous, he loves a game against them. He'll step his game up. McGregor knows what it means to beat them because he's beat them before, and Hanlon's done it as well. So I think they're probably our back three going into that, I would say.
I just think we need to get at them. We need to get right at them. Their weak spots are back.
Aye.
They're sort of back four, as much as they've been solid. But I think that's more. I think them being solid is more to do with their front three pressing and their midfield right on top of everyone. I'd play that three: Irvin, Newell, and Gogic, because I think we need to push them back.
Aye.
Try and push them back. Give them something to think about, because they're going to have half an eye on the following week against Celtic, aren't they?
That's right. It's going to be an interesting one, mate, for sure.
It's just I think it more depends how they line up themselves.
Aye.
Who they actually play, and if they're going to play this, Davis and Arfield and that slower players forward, just hit them.
Aye.
Get right at them.
Aye. What's your score predictions then, boys?
1-1.
1-1.
1-1, right? Okay.
I'm going to go for a risky 3-2 Hibs.
We'll have a in Glasgow.
Mate, I'm feeling bold. I'm going to say 2-0 Hibs. I'll go 2 or 3 because I think Hibs are going to stun them. I think we're going to stun them.
I honestly think we're going to win.
There'll be a lot of folk watching this thinking we're talking absolute crap, but I do think Hibs will do them. And I think
we'll do it.
I'm going to go 3-0 Hibs. You know that. I think we'll score early. I think we'll be 2-0 up, and I think they'll be pushing, and I think Boyle will score late on against run of play or something. I think we'll beat them. Come on.
Ken Sutton, right? I'd actually slightly change it going forward, right? I'd play Boyle up with Doige and bring Cadden in on the right.
That's what I think we need. I think we leave.
No, just for the pace.
I think we need
more pace in this, but Boyle.
I think
we'll do them.
Calvin, if one of us get this score prediction right, I think we can just forget the rest, eh?
Yeah, that'll be Europe secured as everything. That'll be Europe secured and everything, eh? So I can't wait for the Rangers club statement after the match as well.
All 11 Rangers players were assaulted by Casper the Ghost.
Exactly. Yeah, good to be Casper.
Aye. It's a good one.
So
hopefully we win.
What did you say your position was, Charlie? 2-1? No, 3-2. Sorry, 3-2. 3-2. Aye.
You're
great.
1-1.
1-1.
1-1.
Watch us get pumped.
Watch us get pumped 6-1. You know what I mean?
Aye, something like that.
A Paul Heckenbottom job.
Ah, God.
Hope
I'm trying to forget about that guy.
Aye.
You can't forget about him. He's on Sky Sports every week now.
Aye, I know.
I seen an interview the other day and it was saying that he was very unlucky because apparently he worked his socks off, that guy. Where did I see that? I can't remember what I was watching. But do you know what it was? It was Long Bangers with Stevenson's interview.
Oh, aye.
And Stevenson was saying that he was very well liked in that, and his training and that was very good. It was all about possession. But when you come up to play like Ken St Mirren and that on a Tuesday night, it's not really about possession. That is it. It's about sticking the ball in the back of the net.
Get the ball in the net and win.
And so, see when he first came in, I actually liked his football.
Me too.
I really, really liked football. I thought this is back to Mogga days. This is bringing something back, and the anniversary of that Horgan winner at Tynecastle. That football is unbelievable.
It's good passing and moving. It had a good song as well, eh? So
passing, moving, the tempo, Ken, everything.
I can. That's probably one of the best goals I've seen.
That's one of them.
Aye, just a shame he crashed, eh?
Yeah.
That was it was an interesting time to be a Hibs fan. Felt like a massive step back, eh? For me personally, I thought it was just a massive step back. And then who did we replace? Well, Ross. Ross has been decent.
Steadied the ship.
Aye, he has, mate. He has. Right, that's time to move on to the listeners' questions, and we've got quite a few here.
Week,
we've got a few here this week, and they're absolute belters as well. We've got one from Simon Mick 1875. He's wrote in on Twitter, and he says, in your opinion, taking into consideration the players we currently have at the club, are we playing the right formation to get the best out of the players available?
I think we're a 3-5-2 team.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think we're the best set up 3-5-2 to sit in and go on the counter.
I think you've seen Lenny when he was at Hibs, he liked playing the 3-5-2 as well, and he sort of tried to go over at Celtic and adapt that, and they just couldn't. They couldn't take to that formation. I do think what's exciting about that formation is it's a very attacking formation. I think they're playing the three at the back. It's called. I mean, that was like prime Hibs when they were in the 2016 Scottish Cup, obviously winning season. And that it was just like that. That was our formation. That was like our identity. And I feel we sort of withered away from that a wee bit. But it's quite hard because I think just being obviously not being at the games and like watching them physically, it's a wee bit more challenging to sort of comment on what I think the best formation and the best players in that are. Just because I've been away from an actual match for so long to like.
It's so weird.
It's not the same watching it on the telly.
No.
But I struggle to find where guys like McGuinness and that fit in.
He's a total myth. He's a total myth to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He came with myth. I agree. I think he came with a lot of promise, but I think he's just. It almost feels like he's just another injury-prone waster. That's I just can't get behind this idea of bringing a player in and he just sits on the bench injured. I think if you're coming to Hibs, you need to be fit. And I know he injured himself and we had COVID and whatever, but he's been at the club almost a year and he's still no match fit. Like, come on, pull your weight together and get ready. Especially in Europe, because we need enough bodies in that plane to go to Europe.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the thing with Slavka as well, Mm-hmm. Like, Slavka looked a hell of a player.
Aye.
You've been at a youth academy.
Aye. I know.
How?
He's not there for nothing. No,
can he be?
No, I thought I seen a player in him, but he looked like the type of player to go to St Johnstone and be a world beater.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Like, go to something like St Johnstone or Kelly.
Aye.
And be a world beater and beat a veg on our faces.
Where's he playing now, though? You know what I mean?
I still follow him on Instagram. He's somewhere.
I think he's somewhere in Europe, but like that's just a fall for grace, playing in Scotland and then going there.
Yeah, I'll get it up now. Slavka. He plays for. I'm going to picture this. Apollon Smyrnis or something. Apollon Smyrnis.
Over that way.
Where are they? The Greek Super League.
I mean, it's probably
Super League.
It's going to be a good move for him, I would imagine, because he'll probably play week in, week out. But
I agree with you, man. It's difficult signing players like that. There's a few in the ranks and now. Like even we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but even Hallberg as well. I mean,
what does he do?
Where do they fit?
One of you said that a couple of weeks ago. What does he even do?
I don't know. I actually don't know. There's times where he seems like a player, though.
It's typical, though. Like, he has a good game, then 3 bad games. Like, we didn't need players like that at the club. We need players that are consistent. Even if they're a 7 out of 10 every week, that's all right. I'll take that. I just need you
7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10 consistent like that.
I know.
Charlie.
Aye.
We've not had that since McGinn, McGee, and Allen.
You know what I mean? Like, you need a player like that.
Yeah,
Ken, even if they're coming off the bench, you do need a player that's going to come on and change a game. And Hallberg does a backwards pass or a diagonal pass. He doesn't go forward with the ball.
I know. Even Stevie Mallon. I mean, another one is just like...
no, I love him,
I think it's a good game. He doesn't get a game for that team he's at now.
No.
I keep up with it. He's not getting a game.
That's worrying. That's worrying now.
It is worrying because he said in a statement not that long ago, obviously, when he moved over, that his intentions were to come back to Hibs, But
he's gone back to St Mirren, by the way.
I think
it's got to be such a shame because set pieces are so deadly, man.
It's another talent that's sort of butchered by Hibs, eh? Like, we said it last week or the week before. It's the same. Like, I used to have a mate. I used to go to school with a guy called James, and he used to say all the time, like, guys like Chris Sutton and that Hart. He was a big jambo, my mate. And guys like they would say like Chris Sutton and that, like absolutely minted for. No, it was
John Sutton. John Sutton.
Sorry, his brother, his wee brother. Would sign up for like Motherwell and that, and they'd come and they'd be absolutely cack for Hearts as well.
Aye.
Like, I mean,
so many times, man. Like
Paul Heffernan I mentioned last week. I mean, I was buzzing
Danny Swanson.
Terrible.
Like,
aye.
Like, I love him. I love the guy. Like, he's such a like sound guy in that. And I thought, right, we finally signed him. We finally got him. And you're just like, oh.
I think
he had one good hour against Celtic.
Aye.
If you remember that, like we beat them 2-0. He had one good hour and just.
There's been a lot of players like that in the last sort of. Our recruitment's not been great in recent years. I mean, even guys like Simon Murray. I mean, we signed him. The guy was an absolute workhorse. He done a lot of the donkey work off the ball and that, and then we sold him to like some South African team.
Aye.
The recruitment's quite questionable at Hibs.
Aye.
However, I do feel like we've no answered the guy's question.
No, I think 3-5-2 is the best formation for Hibs.
Aye. I do think that, you know, as I said, I think for me, I feel like it's difficult to comment on it because I'm not actually watching it physically. Week in, week out, it's quite difficult.
See when you're at the games, I don't know if it's just me, but see when you're at the games, do you watch the ball or do you watch the whole shape of the team sort of?
I watch the whole thing. The whole thing, mate.
I watch the whole shape of the team, or if there's a player I'm not that keen on, and if I think, Ken, what is it Gogic actually does, I'll actually just watch him and his movement and where he goes and what he does and that, to see just to try to get an idea of what's going on.
Aye.
Because that's what I miss about not going to the football and not being able to see the whole picture.
Aye. Players off the ball and that, like it is different. It's really different. Right, here's one from my dad, Hibby Cal 875 on Twitter.
Calvin's dad.
Can you remember your first ever Hibs top and what's been your favourite Hibs top? Home and away. All right.
I can.
Andy, you're ready to answer this, mate. On you go.
My first Hibs top was when we got relegated, right? And it's the purple one.
Oh, aye.
With the beer.
Oh, with the badge in the middle?
No. It was there. Or was it there?
Oh, right.
It was the beer mat. It was the beer mat.
No, I don't want them, mate.
I know what one you're talking about, though.
I'm looking for that, I'm trying to get that, That's what I want,
That was my first one. I had both tops that year. My favourite one. Mixed with part of lining. There's an away top with mixed with part of lining. It was yellow with like green stripes.
Oh, aye.
I was obsessed with that top.
Yeah,
like,
green collar.
I think it was, aye. Yellow top, there was like green collar and green sort of...
That, no?
No. It was when Mixed with part of lining was manager.
Oh,
it
it's the...
it's in the three in the side.
The black.
Aye, the three.
Aye. That's a nice one.
I loved that.
Black, green and green. Did you like that one? I quite like that as well.
I loved that. I've been on the search for it.
Aye.
Oh, mate, I'll keep my eye out for you if I see any. I've seen a few, but quite a lot of kid sizes and that, on eBay and that. I've seen that, mate. That was an absurd, quite absurd that one, because I'd never seen anything like it before, Like one half was in that little way. It's cool, man.
That was nice.
I remember thinking I was almost got Bamba. I think it was 26 or something on the back that year, but I never got it.
That's right.
I never got it, man. But I was thinking about it. Charlie,
my first top was the white away top one where Mowbray was in charge with White and Mackay as the sponsor.
I've still got that somewhere.
I had that and I chucked it out because I realised how bad it was. Like the material was awful, mate. Oh my word.
White and Mackay.
It's so bad. That was my first ever top. And my favourite top. I mean, it's not the Scottish Cup final would be the easy answer, wouldn't it? But I'm gonna say that's my favourite because it's a cult hero top. But my favourite top we've ever had is the 6-2 top. You know, the white collar, the white sleeves, the bottle green. That's just. I
was there that night.
I wish I was there.
I was just trying to buy that top before we came on, I seen Jordan post it. I seen Jordan post that, and then I'm always too late, man. Always too late.
I think that's my favourite hip stop ever. I'd love to get that one again.
Right.
You know how they say, Hearts fans have got this myth about, we always turn up.
Aye.
Get a hold of that tape and go and look at the Hearts end.
Oh, they never turned up that night, did they?
They never turned up that night.
No.
We absolutely pumped them.
Mm-hmm.
It's brilliant watching.
That was
what,
2002, wasn't it?
No, 2000.
I was
2000.
I was 5 at the time.
I was
we
7.
were in Blackpool.
We
were in.
I'd been like really bad at school and that whole week, and my mum was like, "You're not gone," and my dad's like, "Shh," and like got me for school and that, and just took me like. My mum was raging. We went and just got back in and big smiles and that, and mum was just like, "He's a spoiled wee brat."
Right, mine. Charlie, I was going to say, you said that the white one, I think it's maybe 04, 05, I'm not
That's
sure.
Right, aye, it was, aye.
Mowbray era. The away one.
Aye.
So 304, right. The badge, the high bees pins, that Ireland we've got the home version of the top Charlie's talking about. He's talking about the white away one. We've got the home one, which is the one that Derek Ireland wears in the badge that's going to be available in the next couple of days. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Right, my first memory of a Hibs top is Hibernian away football shirt night. I'm reading off it here. 1998 to 1999. It was a yellow away one. Leacock Sportif with the Carlsberg sign. It had the old beer mat badge. I'll hold up the screen so you can see it. That
we're on the championship that year.
I've still got
it. We're on the championship that year.
We were.
That's my earliest memory. Now I remember wearing it outside to play football when I was younger. And you know what I remember about it? It used to scratch like hell, man. The badge was so itchy.
Oh,
it used to my nipple would be on fire, man. So I remember that. That's my earliest memory. Actually having a Hibs stop, But my most favourite Hibs stop ever. I know it's the. Do you know what? I know it's the easy option, man. But that 2016 Cup final one is, mate. The bottle green. I love the bottle green.
See, the thing is, when you get asked this question, it can't be that top.
All right, okay.
It can't be that top, you know what I mean? Because I'd pick that easy. It's so easy to pick that.
Do you know what it is? It's the bottle green, the white collar.
It's the collar,
the white sleeves with the green going round it on the collar. Just it's just class. I was saying I actually like the bottle green. I think I said this a couple of episodes. I like the bottle green better just because. Sort of separate us for Celtic that bit more, and it's I don't know, I just like it.
What you could go for, Calvin, is the 2007 League Cup final when the Rio 5-1 happened. Ken, when we beat.
Aye, a day.
What a day!
What a day!
Tell you what, I'm also like, thank God we were three up when they scored.
That was 5-1 gone on 10-1 that day.
Easy.
5-1 gone on 10.
Right,
how good was Benjamin, man?
Top, it can't be 07, must be 06. It had the no, it's not, must be 08. I'll be here all day. Because that is my favourite one. The cup final one is my most favourite top. I think that one. Oh, there you go. 09, 010. I like that because it had the bottle green striped in the side.
That's lovely.
Nice. I like that. Lovely.
I had the bottle green striped in the side, so I thought that was smart. That one there.
Our away top that year.
One for that year.
The white one here was nice. Aye, the white. I like that one.
Aye, that's probably my second most favourite one.
That is a nice one.
Or maybe the one, other early memories is the one when O'Connor scored against Hearts to beat them 1-0.
Aye, I've got the away. I've got the away top
the home
one as well. Aye, the home top is beautiful.
Aye, the home one. I like that one. Earliest memory of that is I remember playing outside with and I had the home one on. And we're in the boot, just mucking about, making dens and that. We're in the bushes and we're up there next to someone's house and they had it was like vandal grease on the side of this pole. And I went and bloody brushed up against the side of the pole and it was on my top, man, on my white sleeve of the Hibs top. And I thought, Christ, I can't show my mum that, my dad that. Yeah, they got to go nuts. So I hid it. I used to have like a wee dressing up box in my room. I didn't care why. And I had stuff in it and I buried it at the bottom of that and never said anything. And then it was like months later, I was in the box and I found it and I was like, oh, there's my missing hip stop, there's my missing hip stop. I ran downstairs to show them and I forgot that I had the bloody thing on the sleeve. Eh?
Oh, no.
So I done my selling a couple of months later. I can't even mind what happened, but aye. I was moving on, boys, moving on to the next question by Jack Gillies, last week's guest. Would you rather have Doidge in goals or Rocky at striker?
What a
Brilliant,
question!
that one.
What a question,
See
Jack.
Doidge can't be
Doidge
far
in
off 6'6".
Doidge in goals because he played basketball, probably.
Good shout, mate.
Doidge in goals because Rocky just shanks balls into the stands.
That's true.
His distribution is so bad.
I'd take Doidge in goals because I think it would just be weird seeing Rocky in the normal strip.
Aye.
Just with a normal hip stop on Kenny Green. I think that'd just be weird, Dave. So
Aye.
probably go with Doidge in goals, dodgeball.
That's a good question. Like,
I like that one, mate. That was good. Wee curveball.
aye.
Here's another one from Simon Mick 1875, the boy that put in the first question. If you could bring back any former Hibs player from your childhood to play one season, who would you choose? Have to swap the player for a player in the same position in the current squad. So it's not like you could get rid of Matt Macy and bring back Riordan or something. You have to be position for position. Was that a child when John McGinn was at Hibs? Probably not. He's ruled out.
I'd swap Frank Sozzi for our current number 4, Paul Hanlon, and play Sozzi in a back 4, back 3.
Right, okay.
Because it's so used to. That's how McLeish used to have him now.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine him pinging balls. Just him pinging balls everywhere.
Oh, aye.
This is so hard.
Be my pick. It'd be either him. It'd be him or Latapi for me. Or Mixu.
If I was old
I'd
enough
swap
to have
Mix-
seen Latapi, I would have said him.
Latapi for Irvin. No, I'm gonna stick with Sozzi for Doidge. Just
Oh man.
That has honestly got me stuck, like, because I would pick like
but I'd have Riordan back as well.
I know Ryden's obvious one, but like
Aye.
for example, you've got, you know, I sometimes think some of those players back in the day were good because of who they played with.
Aye.
Like Brown, I think Brown was good because you had Thompson at Hibs, do you know what I mean? And vice versa.
Ian Boozlin for Joe Newell.
That's another good
Good
shout.
shout.
I just think
I'd probably have to say Rocky for Simon Brown. No, I'm joking. Oh, yikes.
Oh boy.
Jeez, man.
Zibby for Matt Macy.
Nah, I'd probably, I don't know, man. I'd probably go Riordan for take a pick, anyone.
But what Riordan you having though? Like the Riordan.
Could you have left mid Riordan?
Aye.
Oh, nah. First one. I just think it would be good. Riordan left mid, Boyle right mid, Nisbet and Doidge. It's not bad, is it?
I'd feel sorry for the left back because Riordan's not tracking back.
No.
Nah.
I feel sorry for Doig, yeah.
Mate, O'Connor was good, but I don't know how good O'Connor was, eh?
O'Connor done all the doggies though for Riordan. Yeah, that's the thing.
Aye. Although guys like Scott Brown, I mean, would you have Scott Brown's a hothead when he was at Hibs, eh? Guys like Benjaloon, Samama, decent players. It's one
Benji
season
as well.
away, so you're obviously going to try and win something. That is a hard question.
I'll throw
That's an absolute brilliant question.
I'll throw an obscure one in. Right. So if you'll remember Ian Murray's testimonial, we had 2 very good players playing for Hibs that day.
Doesn't count. That doesn't count.
I was going to say
that doesn't count, man.
Nah, well,
Patrick Vieira. Patrick
Vieira.
I think I'd probably...
Patrick Vieira for Gogic.
Aye, there you are.
Aye.
I'd probably say...
Even now.
Even now.
I'd probably say Stephen Fletcher for Doidge. because Fletcher was an utter goal
That's a
machine.
shout, man.
Fletcher was
And
a
he
goal
could-
machine.
So underrated, man. Like, we didn't even get the best of him as well. That's the best.
No, I'd take him back in a heartbeat. There we are. There's
Still
mine.
now.
I'm surprised he never ever did come back, if I'm honest with you.
Money talks, mate. Money talks.
Mine Celtic were shouting about him at the start of the season.
Aye.
All the Celtic fans hated that. It's
And he went to Stoke.
Aye.
the mill for Stoke.
Man,
so.
I'm still stuck on that question. I'll probably go Cadden for Riordan or something. I don't know.
Aye,
I
Riordan
can.
for Cadden. Shout.
Yeah,
I'll
I
go-
just love
I'll-
DK.
I'll go Sozy for Hanlon because we'll not even go into Paul Hanlon.
I think that's a topic that I'm not getting into this late into it.
See, to be fair,
I want to be
right,
nice about him in case he ever hears the podcast. Right?
right, I'm going to be the nicest. I'll be nice to him, right? See, after he scored that 2-2, I worked in the Gyle and his missus works in the shopping centre. I came down the escalators and like bumped into him. It was like 2 days after the 2-2 and just grabbed him and just hugged him. I was so sorry. I was like, but for what you done the other day, I love you. And just like walked away. Just like an absolute little weirdo.
Here's a wee question I'll throw in because that's a good one. You've just put me on a train of thought there. Have you ever bumped into a player? Have you ever bumped into a player out with obviously like the context of Hibs, like just met them in the street and had like a weird encounter with them? Like you've
Aye.
had that one with Hanlon.
I've had
We
another
had
one.
one. Go on then, mate. Tell us.
I was in Glasgow and I bumped into Xander Clarke and a couple of the St Johnstone players the day before they were playing Partick Thistle and done shots
Right.
with them. Because my mate, like, Xander Clarke had a bit of a mare against Partick Thistle the next day.
Aye,
Right.
that's all the drink.
I never done nothing.
We had I've had a few, man. We had we were coming back for the Dunfermline game, beat them 3-1. I think it was the start of last season. We're coming back and we're actually just coming around Hermiston Gate. And David Gray was walking up to the train station there, just across from. Do you know where I am?
Aye.
Just across at the
Just up there,
the Krispy Kreme there, and we were coming along, mate. My dad literally just stopped the car in the middle of the road, and a bay for us ran out. It was funny, like we were driving past. My dad rolls down the window, shouted, "Oi, where were you today?" Because he wasn't in the team, and David Gray was looking at him and be like, "Did I ken you?" And then we got out in that middle Hibs tops on, and I was like, "Oh mate, like I need to get a picture, And do you know what? I always said to myself, and this is going to be a bit weird, I always said to myself, if I ever met David Gray, my life goal is to kiss his head where the ball come off. That's what I want to do. But when I seen him, I was starstruck, man, and I never asked to kiss his head, so I will get him. I'll get him one day. But that was a strange encounter. Like he just was walking along the street as if he wasn't a god. Do you know what I mean? It was weird.
I remember when I was working at the Gyle, it was after the Scottish Cup final, right? And Liam Henderson was in the Gyle. Like, in the food court. We went to Spudgett and I just stood there like...
Legend. Should have bought him a meal.
Mate, I couldn't even move for about 10 minutes. I was just sitting there, standing there like...
There's another one that got away as well,
that's a...
I think my weirdest... Well, no, it wasn't weird at all. We're walking to the Scottish Cup final in 2016 and my mate turns round and is like, "There's David Witherspoon." Like, never expected to see him go to the game. So I turned round and sure, there he is with 20 Hibs boys round him. And he was like, I'm in the Hibs end today. So I never expected...
He's a St Johnstone fan too.
And him and all his mates were in the Hibs end that day. And that's
quality, man.
I know Griffiths
I like
was
that,
in the
mate.
Hibs end. Griffiths was in the Hibs end today, but I've not
Yeah,
really
Tom-
met a lot of them. He was. I've not really met a lot of them outside Easter Road, actually, or Hibs context.
Like, I've seen a lot of them, like, in the Gyle, because I think a lot of them, like, stay pretty close. So you still have, like, could stand to Scott Brown quite a lot, which is weird. Like, Scott Brown, it's like, but it's just, some of the Hibs players, you just can't stand and go, oh my God. Like, you're like one of my childhood heroes.
Aye.
Strange you went to Aberdeen, eh?
I know.
Would you had them back?
100%.
Would you? See, I really went off on me, and I went off him in that was it the 2013 Scottish Cup final? He absolutely nailed Clarke. And then he was just an absolute idiot after that. Like, I just couldn't take to him. He's another good player. I thought Clarke was a decent player, man.
He was. Aye.
See, technically, he was a cracking player.
Remember, he turned in Rangers for his mind.
Aye, he did. He did.
Clarke's a good player, man. I liked him a lot.
Probably one of the few ones Fenland brought in. You actually got attached there. Like, thought he had a bit about him.
Aye.
Right. Aye.
It's just, see when you do bump into players, though, it's weird. Like, I bumped into Rocky and Morrison's and like totally like fell into him. I was like trying to hide all my stuff and I was like, oh, cheers, Rocky, and just walked away, just totally embarrassed. Just was like, I'm an absolute idiot myself in front of Marciano and like Shelley and the kid were there. And I was like, you know what? I can't bother him. He's with his like wife and kid. I just think pure like, if he was on his own, fair enough. I'll stand top with his wife and kids. I can't do it.
Aye. Can't think there's much more I've seen.
No, I mean, the only other one I would say is probably my cousin Gary Naismith. But apart from that,
tell you what, he's just got a really good job, by the way.
He's
really good job at
well,
Edinburgh City.
Apart from that, I've not really met a lot of footballers.
Gary Locke, by the way, what a gentleman.
I just seen Gary Locke last week. He was 2 weeks ago. He was at Tesco, at Dalkeith area, and he was just walking across the car park, and I actually rolled the window down and I shouted, "Gary!" And he looked around. I says, "You're brilliant on open goal, mate." And he just gave me a thumbs up on that.
He was quality on open goal, to be fair.
Aye, he was. He's actually. I mean, did you watch that? Did you watch that Hearts documentary when he was going? Did you see it? The one that was on the, I think it was on, was it STV or BBC like a couple of months ago?
I watched it and laugh at them.
It's beautiful.
I was
watching it. I was just thinking, what does Gary Locke do? He's literally just there. Like, what does he do? Do you know what I mean? It's just like he's a child, man. Bloody candy shop.
Kid in a sweet shop, eh?
Aye.
Aye, yes, aye. He's just
he's one of their ambassadors, for the foundation and all that. But he's a gentleman, absolute gentleman. Whenever I've seen him.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
I met Rudy no long after the 5-1.
Boo.
This was horrible. No, this was horrible. So we were setting up. They were doing a signing in the Gyle, and my boss was like, right, and I'm with Robbo, John Robertson. I'm like, the hammer of the Hearts, and the guys literally just broke my heart. And I was like, go set the seats and all that up. And he kind of walked in, and like my best mate at the time was a Jambo, sadly. And I was like, Rudy, can you sign this for one of my mates and that? And he's like, you're a Hibs fan, aren't you? And I was like, aye. What do you think? And I went, Kim, what, Rudy? You done us, man. And I was like, Kim, what? He's one of the Hearts players I really rated.
Larry Kingston was pretty good. Like,
I rated all of them
my way as well.
I rated all of them after they left.
Aye. Rated Scatchot Dundee United.
I never, because he had that 5-1 and they stopped.
Oh, sorry, did I? He hit the bar after he came off for Dundee United. I mind that.
Aye, Hertz insert horrible.
Wasn't a patch on Tom Stores?
No.
Isaiah Osborne. Jesus, who were we kidding?
Horror shows, man.
Win that, Who were we honestly kidding thinking we were going to win that,
No one.
I thought we maybe nick a 1-0, but nah.
We were getting pumped that day. And there was,
I don't know, how did we even make it to the final?
We beat Aberdeen luckily.
Pumping Aberdeen.
I know, I remember that, but I'm just saying, like, in general, like, because that's probably the worst Hibs team I have ever seen, ever.
Do you remember all the signings that January? O'Donovan, Docherty, Frankham.
I hate Docherty, man. I hate him.
I hate him with a passion.
He's at tournament that now, eh?
See the fact Mourinho's ruining him now. I'm like,
big heavy Mourinho.
Aye,
totally big heavy.
He remembers that day. Oh man.
Aye.
Sorry, I forgot that team existed and the teams that after it. They weren't any good.
Tom Tayo and that, man, absolutely brutal, eh? It's a
scary horror. You're giving me horror shows, football teams.
I think we might.
can
I'd cut this last 5 minutes out of this podcast, Calvin. We might lose viewers with this.
To be honest with you, you're quite possible that I probably lose a sponsorship in that as well. Oh man, alive! Aye, scary times.
But I think.
Stefke Kutsche.
Oh boy, I think.
I just wanted to see the swan dive.
That's all I wanted in life.
100%.
Oh, that's a topic for another day. Celebrations.
That's maybe
Best celebration. That's a topic.
It will only be next week's, Calvin. We've got a special collaboration with another podcast next week.
That's right. Aye, we certainly have.
Well,
you want to spill the beans?
Aye. So next week we've got a collaboration with the Arm & View podcast, the Livingston one, and looking ahead to the Hibs Livingston game, and then we've got another one lined up for later in the season that we'll reveal closer to the time. But aye, that's really.
They're good lads. They're good lads on that, by the way.
Aye, we're looking.
Good lads.
We're looking forward to chatting all things Hibs and Livingston and what their thoughts.
Marvin Bartley.
Marvin Bartley and Effie Ambrose.
Aye, Stokes as well for a day.
Aye, Stokes for a day.
But
I think before we get too sidetracked with horrible Hibs players in the past, I think it's a good place to end it this week.
End it, aye.
And hope
just shout out once again to our sponsorship. This episode's sponsored by High-B Pins. You can get your High-B Pin. You can follow them on Twitter at High-B Pins. We retweet a lot of their stuff, and they've got some cracking pins already available. They've got Russell Latipi running away with his hand up, which is a cracker, and they've got a Riordan one as well, Riordan kissing the badge, to give them out in the next couple of weeks' time to our listeners. Charlie's got something organised for that, so he's going to put out a question. You need to respond with your answer to be in with a chance of winning, also liking and following the page. If you decide to get yourself a badge, you can head over to High-B Pins. They've got their website, which is highbpins.bigcartel.com. You can choose either the Riordan badge or the Latipi badge, and if you use the promo code SOH podcast, you can get 10% off your purchase. And that was a sales pitch and a half. I must say at least. So.
Done well, Calvin. You done well there.
You done well there, mate.
I appreciate it, mate. I do appreciate that.
Well, we'll be back next week to review hopefully a win at Castle Grayskull and look ahead to the Livingston game. Andy, thanks again for coming on, mate.
Been a pleasure, boys. Thanks for having me.
And where can the listeners find your YouTube channel?
It's on YouTube. If you type in Football Bloody Hell on YouTube, I've got a Facebook page. It's the Andy Rogers Podcast, and you can find me on Twitter at Rogers1875.
Brilliant, and we'll get them linked into the video as well. But until next week.
Perfect.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.